What's up, YouTube? My name is Kenny J, the insurance guru, and this is Kenny J TV. Welcome back to another episode of Kenny J TV. If this is your first time checking out Kenny J TV, feel free to browse around and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for my latest notification. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to Kenny J TV. I am very excited about this video today. This video is partnered with Kaplan, which I love them dearly. Like, I love Kaplan. If you go back to my oldest videos, one of the first ones, I spoke about Kaplan, how amazing their program is and how it got me to the level I am today with the classes, with the continuing education. And finally, Kaplan and I aligned. And I did one video before about Kaplan, but this one is going a little bit more in depth. First, I'm going to talk about Kaplan a little bit, and then I actually have access to one of the main tools in the practice for the pre-licensure that I wanted to show you guys. I talk about this all the time when I'm on these coaching calls and telling them this is my favorite feature with Kaplan, and Kaplan was gracious enough to give me access. So thank you, Kaplan, for one, this opportunity, and then two, for giving me access to show my platform how amazing you guys really are. So if you're looking to get into insurance, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to pass the insurance state exam, because that's why you came to the video. And then I'm going to go right into the Kaplan portion of the video. So of course, when you're looking at taking the insurance state exam, study in chunks or study in sections. Don't look at the entire insurance exam book and be like, oh, I can't do this. It's going to be entirely too much information for you to retain. One thing that I always say is study for like an hour, hour and a half, and then take a 15 to 30 minute break. Therefore, it allows your brain to take in the information, but also breathe. You know, if you're in a boxing match and you're boxing, and you're not having a break between rounds, you're going to pass out. You're going to be tired from exhaustion. And think of your brain as the same way. It needs time to regroup, to go over everything that it is soaked in, and to retain that information. So it is okay to take breaks and also allow yourself time. One of my favorite features, other than the one I'm going to show you, there's another cool feature that is a calendar with Kaplan. So for me, I said I want to be able to sit before the state exam in 2 weeks. I put that into the calendar feature of Kaplan, and it laid out my study routine for the next 2 weeks. And guess what? At the end of the 2 weeks, I was ready for the state exam. Kaplan does an amazing job with any type of feature, honestly, that you can think of. Kaplan has. The calendar one was probably one of my absolute favorites when studying for the exam. I knew that I was on course, and I didn't specifically know how long to study each day. So with this, it told me I'm studying units 2 through 4 today. So I knew whenever I was done with that, that's when I was done for the day. Another tip is don't rush when you are studying, or don't rush for the exam. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I would recommend that I never have ever said on my channel is take the exam before you even get the insurance jobs. A lot of times what I run into, people on my YouTube, people booking calls, or people even getting in the mentorship program and saying, I have 3 days to pass the insurance state exam. That's what the agency owner gave me, and I don't know what to do. I was super successful early on in my career because I took the insurance state exam before I even started applying for jobs. Once you get into these jobs and they're giving you a very strict schedule, it can add a lot of stress and pressure to studying. And now, not only are you thinking about all this information that I have to take in order to pass the state exam, but now if I don't pass this exam, I may lose my job, or I may have to pay X amount of dollars back. And I personally never wanted to be bound to any company because they paid for my exam. You can go to the link in my description box and it'll have all of the information you need to sign up for the class on your own. And it's not even expensive. There are different tiers that you can sign up with Kaplan. But if you want to get the very basic tier, that's personally what I did, because at the time I didn't want to spend a lot of money signing up for Kaplan. I was able to get the most basic one. Of course, it doesn't come with a lot of the cool features that the other ones have, like the instructor, for example. But with the basic, I knew that this is what I could afford at that time, and I had no choice but to pass. And even with the most basic course that Kaplan offers, it was still 10 out of 10. And I knew from that moment, even when I do my continuing education, I'm going to use Kaplan, because Kaplan was nothing but good to me. And even with the continuing education, Kaplan was 10 out of 10. I will never use another course, another class, because Kaplan was on the money. And even my friends looking to get into real estate and other industries, I tell them, use Kaplan. Kaplan is used for a variety of things, like the NCLEX for nurses, the LSAT for law students, the MCAT for medical students. There's a lot of different prep that Kaplan has to offer. And the last tip I will give you for passing the insurance state exam is do not second guess yourself once you are in the exam. These exams are meant to trip you up, to confuse you, so you want to make sure that you go in there, and if you think the answer is A and then you think like, maybe it's B, do not second guess yourself. People have failed the insurance state exam by 1 or 2 questions because they went back and changed it. So make sure to stay firm. Unless you know 110% that what you're changing it to is the right answer, do not second guess yourself on the state exam. Now we get into my favorite part. I'm going to pull up my screen for you all so you guys can see what I get to see, and I'm very excited about this. So this is the Kaplan dashboard. Of course, if you are really taking the course, you're gonna have a lot more icons and things like that, but I asked them to only give me access to one thing, because this thing is the one feature that I believe made me so successful with the exam. So it is called the QBank, or the question bank. And the really cool thing about this is, let me just click and show you. I'm getting ahead of myself. You can do a custom quiz, or you can have them simulate the exam. So I always did custom quizzes when I was studying for the exam. So let's say day 1, I have sections 1 through 3, or units 1 through 3. At the end of me studying, I'm done, I'm pooped, I take a break, maybe an hour break. I come back and I go right to the QBank. So the total amount of questions in this entire course is 679 questions. And I'll be very honest with you all, a lot of questions that were on Kaplan were very similar to what was on the insurance state exam. That's a gem that a lot of people do not tell you. So let's say I did introduction to insurance, contracts, and basics of property and casualty. So I want to do those 3 sections. You go down, let's say I want to do 20 questions, and then launch quiz. And boom, just like that, you're gonna have 20 questions, and then at the end, it does grade you and let you know what you got wrong, and you're able to read up on why you got certain things wrong. And that is a really, really important thing to me, because I need to know why I got this wrong and why this is right. And I love that about Kaplan. They really took their time with creating this program and telling you, this is why you got this wrong, this is why this is right, this is an example. And I truly, truly loved it. And then you can also simulate the actual insurance state exam. This is a lot of questions. It's 125 questions, but I promise you, if you consistently go through these, I did about 1 of these a day. I got better and better and better over time. And when I sat for the exam, I was very confident. You want to make sure that when you're going through this exam, that you are somewhere quiet, you are focused, and have no distractions. You want to treat this as if this was the actual exam. And then, once I took the exam, I did just stop. I saw my grade and I took another break, because if you're like me, you got to take breaks in between. You can't just go. So I took another break, came back, and then I would review what I got right, what I got wrong. Okay, so the contract section, I'm not as strong as I thought I was on it. So that is a really cool feature that Kaplan has. If you have not tried out Kaplan and you are looking to get into the insurance industry, 10 out of 10 recommended. 10 out of 10 recommended. And another cool thing that I want to touch on very briefly is the continuing education. If you are licensed and you plan to keep your license after your term has expired or you have to renew, you are going to have to do continuing education. The people at Kaplan were very helpful. If you need to call them, they're very easy to access. And the really cool thing that I like about this is these are the ones that I completed, but I'm going to scroll down some. These are the ones I haven't done, but it's so many different things that you can learn. Like if you are really interested in annuities, you could do that, or in the claims process, you have that. It's so many different topics, estate planning. And when I was going through this, I was in awe of all the variety that they had in their continuing education. And I will be honest, it made it really fun. You know, the quizzes they had, the reading, it was very interesting. And I really felt like I was getting brushed up on a lot of information that I haven't seen since I studied for the insurance state exam. So if you're looking for continuing education as well, you can click the link in my description box below. It'll take you right there and you can sign up. If you have used Kaplan, what are some of the features that you really enjoyed when using the program? I want to read all about it in the comments below, so make sure to drop that comment. And did you see some similar questions from the practice exam to the real thing? I know personally that I saw a lot of questions that were very similar to Kaplan. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for my latest notification. Again, my name is Kenny J, the insurance guru, and this is Kenny J TV.